I got a question about the slingshot versus a bench shirt. A guy says that he can perform his benches very well wearing the slingshot, but has a lot of trouble in a bench shirt. He's very new to a bench shirt, and apparently on the way down during the descent of his lift, he's kind of losing the weight a little bit, and it feels like his elbows are giving out. What happens in most bench shirts compared to a slingshot is very simple. A very simple invention. Most bench shirts are basically over-engineered. There's kind of a lot of thought that went into them, which is good for safety purposes, but a lot of them are super stiff and super strong, and your average person who's just getting into one will find them to be a real monster. Just simply they're not used to the compression, they're not used to the strength, they're not used to the material being so stiff. I'd recommend that most people start out with a stretchier material shirt. You can look into that for yourself, but a stiff shirt is gonna cause some problems at first unless you know how to utilize it. So it really just depends on where you are, what stage of lifting you're at. But this guy says that he presses over 500 pounds in the slingshot, and that's pretty good strength. So that's a pretty good base to start to utilize a bench shirt without any real problems. Another thing that happens in bench shirts is people get to be, it's really bright in here. Whoa, go over this way. Wow, that's a fat face, isn't it? Anyway, when you go to do a regular bench press in your bench shirt, you want to make sure that you lock your shoulder in and you lock your shoulder down and in. And people are always talking about tucking the elbows. I don't know who the person was who force people to do this so severely, but it's just wrong. You don't want to have your elbows in at your side when you're doing a bench press, especially a shirted bench press where your hand, look at that hand, isn't that gross? Nasty, a lot of calluses. Must mean I work out or something. Anyway, what I was saying is when you do a competition bench, a lot of times your finger is all the way out to the rings, and your finger's all the way out to the rings, and your elbow's tucked all the way in. If you're a smaller person, if you have small, not real wide in the shoulders, what is that going to mean? Think about it, people. What's it going to mean? It's going to mean that your hand is way outside of where your elbow is. So your wrist is going to be at a funky angle. Your elbows and shoulders are going to be in compromised position. More than likely, you'll get into this funky situation here where your shoulder rolls forward. Why is my shirt so tight? You'll get into a position where your shoulder is rolled forward and your elbows are tucked in too severely. So, to answer your freaking question, when you're in your bench shirt, start off with a 3-board, work your way down to a 2-board, and then to a 1-board. On your descent, take your time, be patient. Don't try to rush it, just come down nice and easy, and think about you want to be in the correct position. More so than moving fast, and more important than doing anything else, is being in the correct position. That's why some of my big benches have taken almost upwards of 20 seconds. So you can push big weights over a period of time. It can take a while. It's okay to do that. You won't die. You do want to move fast. You do want to get yourself to that point where you're moving fast, something I try to work on all the time. It just doesn't happen for me. I got a long range of motion and 99 other problems. But so think about that. Try to bring the weights down under control, and don't lose that tightness. Lastly, strengthen your arms. That's actually probably the most important thing. You're going to want to strengthen your arms through board presses, tricep extensions. A favorite of mine is tricep extensions with chains. I use the straight bar. I throw the chains on the side. I make sure the chains deload 100% onto the floor when I'm in this position here. And as I come back up, the chains grab onto the bar, and I get a nice overload at the top. That's a great exercise to build up the triceps. Also, don't forget things like dumbbell presses, which are going to help build up your arms, your chest. Going to help create better stability on your benches. Make sure you're doing your dumbbell presses this way, with your fist this way. Why? Because I frickin' said so. That's the way you do dumbbell presses. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that helps you get a nice PR. And that's it from supertraining.tv.